Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about 7 types of guys that girls can't stand. Now let's begin. Number 1, the nice guy. These guys brag about their winning personalities, but there are few kinds of men that women dislike more than nice guys. On the surface, nice guys shower women with compliments and attention. They pretend to be friendly, caring, and considerate, but nice guys harbor a secret motivation. In exchange for every nice thing he's ever said, he believes a woman owes him physical intimacy. Now, if that doesn't happen, nice guys go on the offensive. They become self-possessed, controlling, and downright insulting. Once a relationship is off the table, nice guys are anything but nice. To put it simply, nice guys think they deserve the attention of every woman on the planet. Chances are he's been spurned by women in the past. Maybe he was rejected by a woman he liked, or maybe he's just frustrated because he hasn't gotten the attention he thinks he deserves. Either way, nice guys develop a biased and insulting view of the female population. They think they deserve attention more than other men, and they'll frequently criticize a woman's romantic choices. You might hear a nice guy say something like, "Oh baby, you're missing out on the only good guy you're ever going to meet." Or maybe he'll say women are only interested in the wrong kinds of guys. In other words, nice guys think they're the right guy for every girl. He thinks he has everything a woman needs, but there's a reason women avoid nice guys as often as they can. Yeah, they can be attentive and complimentary, but they're also manipulative, selfish, and aggressively insecure. They generalize their bad experiences to the entire female population, and they rarely think about a woman's point of view. Now, at first, nice guys seem harmless, even sweet. But if things don't go their way, it doesn't take long for a nice guy to show their true colors. Number 2, the downer. Downers are insecure, self-deprecating guys whose negativity overwhelms their entire personality. Many downers are shy, introverted, and inexperienced, so they feel inferior to other men. Now, naturally, that inferiority makes them bitter and pessimistic. Downers have a bad habit of complaining constantly. They ramble on and on about their problems, they obsess over their failures, and they hijack every conversation to talk about themselves. They're so absorbed in their own problems, they end up driving women away. Negativity is one of the least attractive traits in a man. Most women want someone who's positive, confident, and comfortable in their own skin. She wants to enjoy spending time with you. She wants to feel happy and relaxed when you're around, but downers create nothing but negative emotions. They're exhausting and frustrating because they're only interested in self-pity. Unfortunately, downers are their own worst enemy. If they stopped feeling sorry for themselves, downers would realize they have just as much to offer as any other guy. But they struggle to gain perspective, so they wallow, they pout, and they complain, and their negativity ruins their chances. Number 3, the bachelor. This kind of guy is difficult to nail down. Most of the time, bachelors are successful, attractive, and capable men, and they know their way around a relationship. They develop many romantic connections thanks to their confidence and charisma, so they've been with their fair share of women. Unlike our first 2 personality types, their problem isn't their attitude or their mindset. It's their view of relationships. At first, a bachelor may seem like her perfect match. He's everything she's been looking for in a partner, but what happens when she tries to take things to the next level? Suddenly, her perfect match is running for the hills. Bachelors are called bachelors for a reason. Their relationships rarely last more than a month or 2. In other words, they don't invest emotionally in the women they date. He doesn't introduce her to his friends or family. He doesn't tell her what he does for a living. Instead, he keeps her at arm's length, so the relationship never moves forward. Women can't stand these kinds of guys because they lure women into a false sense of security. He shows all the right signals. He gives her compliments and creates the illusion of stability, but as soon as she gets serious, he takes off. Number 4, the moocher. Not everyone is strapped with cash. If you're a little light, that's not going to be a problem with most women, but in general, women are looking for someone who can support themselves. Women avoid partners who want to mooch off their success. Moochers expect the women in their lives to pay for everything. They're not self-sufficient, they're not interested in work, and they don't mind relying on their partner constantly. In the beginning, moochers are sneaky. They ask for small handouts, promising it's a one-time thing. He'll say something like, "I'm just a little short on cash right now," or "Would you get this one? I'll get the next one." But he'll say the same thing over and over again. Women can't stand this kind of behavior. They don't like men who expect to be pitied or pampered. In the same way, they don't like men who take advantage of someone else's sympathy. In other words, she's not looking for a guy who's unreliable, irresponsible, or lazy. You don't have to work a high-paying job or drive a luxury car. You don't have to buy her expensive gifts or plan fancy vacations. But you do have to take responsibility for yourself, because moochers never do. Number 5. The tough guy. Some guys have too much to prove. A tough guy is a macho, overly competitive male. He finds every opportunity to show off just how manly he is because he believes his manliness impresses every woman he meets. He thinks women find him irresistible, but his macho attitude pushes women away. For starters, women don't like many of the traits men idealize in other men. For example, some men think women are looking for bodybuilders with sculpted abs and gigantic arms. But that's not what women are really looking for. Instead, they're usually attracted to healthy, average-looking men who take care of themselves and their bodies. Guys also misjudge the personality types that women find attractive. A tough guy tries to be an alpha male in every situation. He wants power over everyone he encounters, so he walks around thinking he's the toughest guy in the room. Many tough guys hold their strength and size over quieter men, and they like to make others feel small. They act like they're joking around, but the truth is, tough guys are insensitive and self-absorbed. In their mind, they're just playing a game. To everyone else, they're rude, arrogant, and cruel. Number 6. The drifter. Women are attracted to guys who are laid back, but drifters take laid back to the extreme. Drifters are passive, carefree men who take a backseat in their own lives. They don't have passions or responsibilities. They lack motivation, self-control, and discipline. They spend most of their time doing whatever comes naturally, but women can't stand this go-with-the-flow attitude. She wants someone who takes an active role in their lives. Activity and responsibility are attractive traits. In other words, she wants him to care about something. She wants him to put effort into his life and chase some kind of goal. Even if you haven't achieved anything yet, it's your passion that matters. The same goes for your habits and your lifestyle. For example, self-care is an area many drifters ignore. They don't pay attention to the way they live or the quality of their environment. They neglect the health of their bodies and their minds, and it's obvious to everyone they meet. Women aren't looking for someone to fix or take care of. She wants a man who can function and thrive all on their own. Because that's what makes a relationship successful. It's two self-sufficient people coming together, not one person doing all the work. Number 7. The escape artist. Self-improvement is difficult. It's a constant challenge that we all face throughout our lives. Little by little, you identify your weaknesses, you face your inner demons, and you become a better version of yourself. But some guys aren't willing to improve. In fact, they think self-improvement is a waste of their time. When you try to tell them otherwise, they lash out, they get angry, and they run away from their problems because that's what comes naturally. An escape artist refuses to acknowledge his weaknesses. He'll perform astonishing mental gymnastics to avoid admitting that anything is wrong. Instead of facing his demons, he stuffs them deep down in the back of his mind. He ignores them for as long as he can, but sooner or later, those demons explode outward, and someone pays the price. That's why women avoid men who aren't willing to admit their faults. A healthy and secure man knows his strengths as well as his weaknesses. He's not blind to the problems he faces in his life because everyone has problems. Everyone has fears, weaknesses, and insecurities. An escape artist pretends these problems don't exist, but a secure man takes responsibility for his issues. But that doesn't mean he's satisfied. He keeps his mind oriented on the future because he wants to become a better version of himself. To put it simply, women are attracted to men who can change, grow, and improve. If he's unwilling to admit his faults or passes the blame onto someone else, most women will run like the wind. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.